Hi, my name is Marsha, I'm the Golden Blonde, and today we're talking about UX. Anfisa, who is a wonderful human being and a UX designer, a freelancer, and the founder of her own startup, Columbary, has agreed to share her UX story and some tips for anybody who wants to start their journey into UX. So let's go for it.
Hey there, my name is Anfisa, and I'm a user experience designer, a freelancer, and a founder of Columbary, which is a marketplace with traveling activities. I do think that there are no direct path to become a designer, and everybody comes there in its own way. So let me start by sharing how did I become one. Initially, I was an interior designer, and I moved to Estonia to study product design for my master. And so happened that Estonia is a very IT and tech-oriented country, and while I was studying user-centric design science, I very frequently started to receive requests from different business owners to help them create their own product. And the thing that I was studying product design has a lot of similarities with user experience design. So, I felt like I can kind of try, even though I don't have exact expertise, I could try, I could learn it. And I think it all started with the first hackathon I participated back in 2014, where I knew graphic design tools like Photoshop and Illustrator, and I didn't know really how to create wireframes or what is the process of creating digital product. So I just went, but it ended up being so amazing. I don't know, I just got a lot of drive in there. I meet really amazing people, and I was really amazed about the fact that you can create product in just 48 hours, which is quite impossible in a product design or industrial design, where you have to really cooperate a lot with an engineer and calculate and then send it all to production and wait until everything will be manufactured. So let me put it like this. 3 things really made me hooked into design, user experience design. First is how fast you can do things. Second is that you can do it remotely, and you don't have to be presented in one place to see how the production goes. And the third thing is actual demand, because there's so much more demand in UX than in industrial design. I do think that user experience design is a process for people who like to figure out stuff, and process for people who like to interact with people. And this is very much about me, and that's why I feel so excited to do what I do. So user experience design is the profession where you have to figure out stuff and find the questions, find the answers to the questions that sounds very challenging at the beginning. And usually you face so much uncertainty in the beginning of the process. You don't know anything, you're scared, but as soon as you start figuring out things, it's crazy. It's accelerating feeling of joy, because you really cracking something. You feel like you get in there, you find an answer. So you really have to be a curious person to like this profession. And interaction with people. I feel myself like a very extroverted person, and the fact that I have to figure out stuff through the people, through their emotions, through their eyes, makes me really excited. I do enjoy understanding people. I think that most of my challenges are coming from my fears, and it's very important to fight them. For example, I fear negative feedback, I fear miscommunication, I fear misunderstanding, and a lot of this comes in the process where your clients are from other countries. And in fact, as a freelancer, most of your clients are from all over the world, and you do have a lot of problems with the cultural misunderstandings and time zones. And also, I really don't like that your sleeping mode is very dependent on your client. That's a hard question, to be honest. Simply because due to the fact that I've mentioned before, the international clients mess up my routine a lot. I have clients who wake up when I go to sleep, and I have deadlines, very accident deadlines, and then I have a lot of my projects that I want to do, but I still have to finish projects, so I work until late night. and it's really messy and it's really bad for your health, and I started to feel it last year. So I intend to change this year, and I've planned to totally switch my routine to morning hours and see how it goes. So yeah, right now the plan is that I wake up at 6 a.m. and I do all the stuff that I need until 9-10 a.m. Then maybe I go to sport, or maybe I immediately start working and hopefully finish work until 8 p.m. so that I have more hours to spend with my family, with friends, and live like a normal person in the normal hours. Yes. It depends from the clients. So in my particular practice, my clients are the new clients or come on returning clients. And if it's a returning client, then it's much shorter process because we already have framework which we follow with every new project. But if it's a new client, it's all starting from educating the client. Apparently, clients coming from very different countries, they have different project processes, and I have my own project process. So I do intend to first discuss what are my approaches, and then I want to hear and to understand. Usually the clients don't explain how they are doing things, they just tell upfront what they want from you. And my challenge as a designer to understand what is the client like, how he's going to work with me, how often, how easy will be communicating with him. So yeah, it all starts with understanding how can we work together. So I present my process, I send an offer with everything I intend to do, with my methods, with the timeline, with the cost, and with everything I need from the client. And if client accepts it, we sign it and we start working. And sometimes the process goes very smooth. I'm in very good connection with the client, and we do it every time I have a question, I'm getting it answered. But sometimes some clients are very busy, so I do feel like I can't get a lot of questions being answered, and that's a problem for the process. But yeah, in general, I open the process with talking to a client. In general, there are two ways of making user research. One way is when the client has already existing business, and another way is when the client comes with no business at all, but an idea. And I'm prone to work mostly with the clients who have just an idea, simply because I just used to work with startups, and I do myself a startup too. So yeah, I know how to deal with the projects only on a stage of idea. And it's a long process. It's a longer process either than you just take an existing business and you look in through the metrics and try to talk to existing users. So my usual user research starts from a lot of questions. It all starts with clients, then it comes to a target persona, then it comes to the point where I have the most targeted personas, and I work with them and have one-on-one sessions with them. Or if they are located in another place, not in my country, I have online session with them. And I use online tools, but I really prefer to speak to people one-on-one, sitting next to them, watching how they connect with the product I create. And of course, I collect a lot of data, and I'm sorting this data, I'm clustering this data, I see patterns, and I put those patterns into potential personas. And I guess it's a very classic process. But it's better to do it in a team where you can also discuss the patterns that you have seen. The point of personas is to create the best possible compilation of all the users that could be interested in your product. It's like you're taking 10 faces and merge it all together, and all the points that coincide you take as a pattern. And that's how you create the personas. It's like commonly created, mysterious profile, which has a lot in common between many other people. Yes, I do UI design, at least because my clients demand it. Yes, I don't really feel like this is my strong power. I don't feel like I want to do it always. Usually I leave it as a cherry on the top of a cake and leave it until the last night. I would prefer to give this job to real graphic designers and to really good motion designers. And I do think that UI design is kind of dying because this profession is getting divided by two sides. One is very strategical and planning side, which is a UX design, and another one is a very graphic and branding oriented side. And I think that it's better to give all the UI assets to very cool graphic design. If you are coming from art background, you know how to draw amazing stuff, then it's very cool, then it's going to be the next very demanded profession. But unless you're a really top-notch artist, there is no need for a UI designer in the future. So yeah, I don't think it's a very good idea to become one. I can't really remember funny stories. I think it's a bit of a stressful process because the point when you have a user testing, it's the point when you can finally see a real feedback and see the eyes of your user. So you can see either very frustrated eyes or very confused eyes or eyes that are not sure how to express their emotions. It's a bit of a stressful process, so I didn't have any fun story. Personally, me, I don't code at all. I think it's connected to the fact that I'm coming from the very user-centric discipline, and we have a lot of courses with psychologists, we had a lot of courses with design thinking, orientation, methodologies, research, brainstorming, just like mostly like thinking. And we didn't have any courses connected to web development. And then of course I wanted to learn a little bit of a code, so I took few courses. I guess it was in the Coursera, but I didn't end up finishing it. So like, I understand how it works very generally, I understand the building blocks of it, but I don't know anything about it. Other than that, I just talk to developers a lot. I ask them questions. It's great that I have good connections with my developers, so we always discuss what is possible, what is not, and when I understand that is okay, it is possible, I use Zeppelin and sometimes other asset transferring tools. So far it works. If you are very new to UX design, I guess it's better if you start by understanding how deep is this ocean and what are the possible directions to take as a UX designer. So first of all, you might consider if you want to build your career in a company, in a product company, either you want to be a freelancer. This is a totally different skill set, I would say. Then you want to understand if you want to be a specific designer, UX designer, or you want to be a general UX UI designer. There are different ways of being UX designer. You can be a person who draws amazing wireframes and translate them into mockups. You can be a person who communicates, it's like a mix of a project manager and concept creators. You can be a storyteller, you can be a UX writer. So it's up to you to decide what you feel the best fit for you, and that's the first step. And secondly, I guess in this field you can't just jump in immediately. I think you have to read a lot. There are so many things to know, there are so many books to read, conferences to visit, different approaches to take. And yeah, tip is to be curious. And also, very big and important tip, try to be open and try to be really nice to people and get connected to anyone you're talking to. People love communications, people love have a good connection with each other, people love good experiences. So being open and being curious, I guess, helped me a lot in my design career, at least as a freelancer. So if you wish to be a freelancer, that's two very important tips. So in my particular case, I feel that I am experienced enough, I have enough clients, I have enough requests, enough different type of projects to understand how the business works, to understand how communication works and how to build something cool. So I do feel that it's time for me to wrap up my freelancing past and turn it into something very personal. So I really hope that my personal project, Calambri, my product, will be a successful product, because I work on it for already almost 2 last years, and it's time to make it really happen, to launch my product and to focus entirely there, other than focusing on other businesses. It's getting dark in here, so I better wrap it up. And with this being said, I want to address anyone who have any questions about how to build your freelance career if you're just starting out, and anyone who wants to be connected with me as a startup founder, because there are many questions and many topics to discuss in there too. So feel free to contact me. I'm very responsive on Instagram, and I'm also creating my YouTube channel, just starting it out. So I guess I will be very thankful and grateful for any support in this my initiative. Thank you for listening to it. Have a good day.
I hope you've enjoyed that video and that you found it useful. If you're curious to find out more about UX, make sure you check out my playlist. And if you have any comments, suggestions, feedback, all of that good stuff, please share it below in the comments or on Instagram, on mine or on Anfisa's. The link will be in the description. So have a wonderful time of the day you're currently experiencing. Bye.